The Intruder is a Roblox horror game in which a single or a group of players survive a creature that has broken into their house. The basic goal is to wait until the phone service restores while hiding and fixing fuses. The Intruder was inspired off the Mandela Catalog, Five Nights at Freddy's, and multiple other games. I've never seen any Roblox games use cameras that run off of the player's GUI. Some of you may think that the game was complex to make, but I'll explain from the beginning why the creation of the Intruder was actually very easy. It all started in November of 2021, the week of Thanksgiving to be specific. It was my week off and I had a lot of free time to make a new project to study coding. I also had this sick setup of an old TV with an office PC and a camping chair where I had to sit down like this to work. I recently, at the time, watched the Mandela Catalog and I was so amazed by how creative it was. I never came across many FNAF games on the Roblox platform, so I created some ideas and images to plan out the Intruder. The house was the first map I created to get a start on the project. I then loaded up some images of areas in a random house and I began to Photoshop. The monster design is very simple with jagged teeth and big googly eyes. The reason his design is so simple is because of Roblox's moderation and how easy it is to get an image taken down. Surprisingly, Roblox never took down any of the images I worked on for the Intruder. The first image was the basement stairs, where his eyes were the most unique of all the others. This was because I never made his design final until the rooms after. I chose to have him stand at 8 feet tall and gave him the ability to shapeshift and elongate his limbs, which is seen at the front door where he mostly stands out. As for his design, whenever he enters the room, I just used an NPC with a drawn head on a billboard GUI. The gameplay was nice and simple at the time, and that was where the uniqueness came to play. As I explained, the gameplay was simple at the time, and there were only 4 tasks. Watch the intruder on the cameras, turn off the light whenever he was close, hide in the closet whenever he entered, and fix the phone whenever it malfunctioned. Today, there is a new task for when the intruder knocks out the power. Players would discard the fuses, go to the box to get a new one, and then return it to the power box. The gameplay was the easy part, but I then had to think about the workings of the intruder's AI. The intruder's inner workings have a lot going on script-wise, but I'm going to explain the bare bones of it. The intruder starts outside down the street. He can go to either the backyard or the front door. Whenever he enters the house, he can go to either the basement or the living room. The living room takes the intruder to the hallway, which is closer to your room. Sound cues play to help you figure out what he's up to and when to react. The intruder can mimic players to lure them out of the closet if they're hiding. To my surprise, it actually worked, and many players died in that scenario. The scary part is the players themselves having their identity be taken to lure the others out. Whenever the intruder enters the room, he checks for anyone who isn't in the closet. He then goes to the closet and checks if it is open or not. If the lights are on and the closet is open, it's an instant death. He then opens the closet if it's closed, and checks for movement. If nothing has happened, then the intruder leaves the room and the cycle starts over again. Figuring out how the intruder traverses the room was slightly a challenge to me, as I had to think about how he moved from a script. The rooms run off of a GUI that holds 3 images: the far, close, and empty. The script before had the intruder choose a completely random room to go to. He could be outside and suddenly go to your room. He could be inside, then suddenly go outside. I didn't like it later on, and had him go to the closest room around him. When I scripted his AI, I didn't have the knowledge of an intermediate scripter. I, like many scripters, watched YouTube tutorials on the basics of coding. The 3 I watched the most were Alvin Blocks, Gnome Code, and the Dev King. Bugs were no joke. I spent a lot of my time debugging many things that went wrong. In the finished product, bugs were still unnoticed, but I was proud of the work that I had done. Going public is always a nerve-wracking thing for many developers. Will people love it? Will they hate it? Only time will tell. I advertised the game with a small amount of Robux, and I just kept refreshing until I saw the first few players. Getting the first YouTubers to play was a great thing to see because that was a goal of mine. When YouTubers play, it helps the game get more players. It was great for a couple of months until it died out completely at 200,000 players. As disappointed as I was, I sucked it up and began working on newer products like Goofy Runners. Yes, I will make a video on that too. It all changed on February 24th, 2023, when 8-Bit Ryan played the entire game. People began pouring on the game and it got popular within hours. A lot of people were disappointed that there was no multiplayer, so I sat in my chair and got to work. In 2 days, multiplayer mode was released and the game got even more popular. I then began adding on to the game and fixing bugs I had no knowledge of before. Seeing the Intruder spread on different social media platforms was great to me and it pushed me further to make more content. Though the game is very simple with a small amount of story to it, I will push on more updates until I get to the end of the story. I won't stop there as I will soon work to pass the Intruder's character to games off of Roblox. And there you have it. If you enjoyed the video, why not take the time to like and subscribe? This is only the first commentary video out of many I will be doing. It won't just be about the Intruder, but also my other games that failed and thrived. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye.